Hello and welcome back to another video from Hill and Valley. Today we're going to be answering some questions and talking about some of our favorite moments of 2022. So we'd like to call this video our 2022 year recap. So one of the main reasons why we want to make this video is because we want to hold ourselves accountable and kind of review what we've done last year, where we're headed this year, and go over a couple of those things. Another reason why we want to make this video is not just for ourselves and to talk about all the cool things we do, but also to kind of give some insight and talk more about some of the things we did last year and just really more for like accountability, I would say, and transparency. All right, so let's dive right into it. So our first question is, what was your favorite project of 2022? I would say my favorite project is probably the commercial we made for the coolers. Yeah, that one was really fun. We got to do a lot of the creative on our end, so it was definitely very collaborative with the client, but I feel like we really got to take charge on like the creative and the ideas, and they really just trusted our vision with it. We got to shoot 3 different scenes with 3 different products, and I really just liked the experience of making the video, planning it out, trying to make it super cool. Like, how are we going to show these 3 unique products in different environments and still like tie it all together? So that was a fun challenge. We also got to film a scene which involved me skateboarding while filming somebody rollerblading. So that's something I'm super interested in doing more of. I always love riding my skateboard whenever I can, especially when we're making cool videos.
Well, there's 2 projects that I liked. I guess going off of what Adam said, the cooler video, but also the same company, but with the Freedom Funnel. I felt like that video was very just fun all around. We pretty much threw a party like in somebody's backyard for the video, which I thought was really fun. All day we had really good weather. The shoot went really well. I thought we got really funny, but also really cool shots of the product, and I thought the video actually turned out pretty good. And I was really happy with it. And it was just fun to hang out with people, and even though we were shooting a video, it was still working, and I thought that was really fun. An honorable mention project, I'd say, which you probably disagree with me on this one, but the bakeware product company, because I felt like we were pretty efficient that day. We got a lot done for shooting all day, like from like 8 a.m. until like pretty much 6 or 7 or even almost 8 o'clock, like a 12-hour day. I felt like we were pretty efficient, and I liked how those videos turned out a lot. I thought we did a pretty good job lighting them and just shooting them creatively and stuff like that. And they were really fun on my end to edit. I thought they looked really good, and even though they were all shot in the same place, all 6 videos, it was cool to try to make them all a little bit different, and I thought it was a cool and fun challenge.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I think I'd also give that one an honorable mention just because I really enjoy any of the projects we did that involved a lot of like production value or like pre-production. Like you said, that day, it was one big day of production for a bunch of different videos. So we were able to invest a lot of time and money into that day and have like a whole crew on set. We really got to focus on the lighting, the pre-production. We had all the shots planned out, and that really shows, like, it really comes through. And I think it was a really beautiful video and a really successful video. So I would definitely agree with that. But I think the reason why I went with the coolers video, I just felt like that was even more challenging because it's almost the opposite. We had to do a lot more with a lot less and still make it just as cool and fun. Yeah. But I mean, the product itself kind of just enabled us to do that. So this is a little bit different. We're going to talk about our favorite video from 2022. So my favorite video we made, the one that I feel like turned out the best, was the project we did for the Harley School. It's a local private school. I just really like the way they turned out. I feel like they look really professional, and they're in line with what I want our portfolio to be, what I want our work to look like. It's super polished, very professional, and then overall just beautiful videos.
I think in 2022, my favorite video that we made was the Wanted Gem video. That was, all in all, just shooting, the production, the editing, the end product was very fun to work on. I know Adam worked mostly on post-production of that video, but I edited a little bit, some of the sound design and with the color and stuff like that. And actually, I think a lot of it with the story too. I think I pieced a few of those things together. But it was just, I felt like from the pre-production to the final product, it was very seamless. I feel like we did a really good job going from one point to the other. And I just, honestly, in my opinion, that was probably like my favorite looking video this year with the sound design, with the color, with the product that we were trying to sell, or the person that we're trying to promote. I thought we did an amazing job in that. So I was really happy with that video.
Yeah, that was a really cool project. I feel like it was a little bit outside of our wheelhouse, but definitely something I'd be more interested in doing more of this year. But it was very creative, and I think the final product, like you said, it just came out looking really nice, and it's definitely more representative of our style, I would say.
Yeah.
Like we got to be a little bit more creative with that one, and the way all of the shots came together in the end was just, you know, the icing on the cake for sure. So my favorite drone shot of the year is on a project we worked for a local college, and it's actually a shot of the college itself, the exterior, and we were flying the Inspire 2 right around sunset, and we decided to throw on the 45mm, which is like a much tighter lens that we never film with. And the way it was able to compress like the campus as a whole, we got this really cool view where you could see like the trees in the background and the sun was setting coming towards the lens, and we got like a nice lens flare, and it really made the college look super heroic. And I think that is the shot I'm most proud of from last year. It wasn't necessarily the hardest shot to get, but I'm glad that we went outside of our comfort zone and tried a different lens. And, you know, the sun was going down. We could have easily just packed up and left. The client was happy, but we were like, let's just see if we can get a little bit more.
Yeah. I think my favorite shot was actually not
Favorite drone shot?
Yeah, it wasn't in a we didn't use it in a project, but we did use it in a video eventually, but it wasn't in like a client project. But my favorite drone shot was Adam flying the FPV drone at Terrence Tower. He went up and then like went straight down, so he like dove the tower. So, like, and that was just editing. That was like super cool because I like sped it up and then slowed it down, and he shot it in like 60p, and it just looked so cinematic and cool, especially when you're diving buildings. Like when you're that close to a building with a drone, like it just seems like everything's going like so fast, like much faster than the drone's actually going. And I like absolutely love shots like that, and I thought it was like the coolest shot, like the coolest drone shot, at least definitely of 2022. So
cool.
But
going on back to our favorite just normal shot of the year, I think I thought of one.
Okay.
I would say my favorite shot that we were able to achieve, it was kind of a series of shots, but it would be the cracker video, the dog catching the cracker.
Yeah.
That was probably my favorite shot of the year. It took a lot more like technical knowledge, and we tried a couple of different things. You know, it was one of those shots that took some more trial and error and a little bit more of learning and finesse. So I felt like that was us, like, you know, going out of our comfort zone again, trying something new.
Yeah.
And again, it was a situation where we absolutely didn't have to do that, but we were like, you know, how can we spice this video up, make it a little cooler for the client?
Yeah.
And I think it was super successful, and I'm really happy with the way that shot turned out.
Yeah, I like that shot. That whole sequence was really good with the cracker video, and I thought that it was really cool to experiment with, and yeah, definitely a really cool shot that year.
Do you have a favorite shot of 2022?
Yes, I just thought of it. My favorite shot was a long take. It was like a single take of a client of ours, Jacob Cards. When we were doing a music video, we did a single take of him walking and performing one of his songs, and I had to walk backwards the whole time for that. And I thought once we put it into Resolve and, you know, we tweaked it a little bit, I thought it was really cool, especially with the location we chose, the lighting we did. We used a tube light to light him, and then Joel and Adam walked behind me, and just to kind of direct and, you know, move the lighting and stuff. And I thought it turned out really good, and I liked how that shot looked like a lot.
Yeah, that was a really tough one to get, and we were like, I was like booming the light out, and
Oh, I forgot.
Joel was like trying to direct. You were like operating the camera, and we were shooting anamorphic on a camera with no stabilization, so it was just like pretty complicated, especially considering, you know, it was nighttime. We needed to light it properly and everything. So
yeah, and there are a lot of factors because, like, luckily the weather was on our side, but there was a lot of people everywhere. I had to walk backwards. There's no, like Adam said, there's no stabilization, there's no autofocus. So I think Joel was pulling focus, and then Adam was booming a light over me, and then I was walking backwards. So it's kind of an all hands on deck situation. And I thought, you know, especially with the anamorphic lens, it just turned into be like a really long, beautiful shot.
What is the most challenging project we did last year? I mean, lately we've been challenging ourselves a lot more with a lot of these like compositing shots and like these projects that there's a lot of moving parts and everything needs to add up in the end. So I would probably lean towards one of those projects, even though those ones are more fun.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that the pushing the envelope with those dog product videos, I think that definitely gets up there with being very difficult, because we try to put a lot of time into shoots that we only shoot for about 2 hours, because that's with the talent. We only usually block off about 2 hours with them, so that we're not, you know, stretching their time. So So we try to fit a lot into 2 hours. I think what we've been doing lately is definitely pushing the boundaries and like pushing our workload and stuff. But in my opinion, for 2022, this goes back to actually my favorite project, but I also think it was the most difficult for a few reasons. I think it was the bakeware product company. There were so many moving parts and there were so many people there that we had to, one, work around people because there was photography and video. We were doing the video and other people were doing photos of the products, so that was kind of tough. It was a big Airbnb, but the kitchen, the place that we were shooting in, was very small, especially when there was probably 10 people there. And we had a food stylist and we just had a lot of people that we're not used to, like a food stylist, an actress, and there's just a lot of moving parts. And we had to shoot, I think, 5 or 6 videos in the span of like 8 hours. And just knowing that is very daunting because, like Adam said, we try to really, with these product videos, like we try to make them look as interesting as possible and show the product as well as we can. And when you only have so much time, it becomes very difficult, especially with the logistics of, and it's all food related too. And I think that made it even harder logistically because with cooking times, with baking times, mixing ingredients, like there was a lot that had to go into that shoot. And I felt like everybody was, at the end of the day, was kind of on edge because there's just so much going on and there was like a little bit of stress and tension. But at the end of the day, I liked how the videos turned out. I thought we did a really good job for what it was. And I was very happy with the outcome. So
yeah, that was a really good one there. It's gonna be hard to top, but I'd have to agree. It was, like you said, very difficult, lots of moving parts, lots of different people. And there was so many different things that we had to plan out ahead of time. And I remember it was a little tough because like communication with the client was a little tough in the beginning. Yeah. So getting all those things planned and making sure we had a good food stylist, we had, the timing was crucial because all of those things we had to make them ahead of time and then make sure we got all the shots we needed before and after, even though some of the shots were out of order. Yeah. So it was tough. I could speak from the standpoint, I was kind of like the director on that set. It was hard to coordinate all those things and communicate that to everybody to make sure all those things got done at the right time. And I know you were like operating the camera most of the day and helping with lighting, so yeah. It was all things had to work together at once. There was no one thing could be off, otherwise a lot of things could have gone wrong. Yeah. For me personally, the most challenging project would have to be the jewelry company we shot for in LA, because similarly to the bakeware product company, there were just so many moving parts and there was a lot of things up in the air, and then you combine that with traveling to LA for the shoot, and a lot of things could go wrong. Some things did go wrong, and I was just really happy that we were able to still get some really good footage. But there was just so much pre-production involved with shooting on the Santa Monica Pier. We needed to have permits, we needed to have insurance, we needed to have all of these things done ahead of time, and communication with all of those different things was a bit shaky for a while. So it was really a big challenge for me personally to hammer all those things down, still get to LA, get really good footage, Oh
yeah, I definitely agree with that. I wasn't there for that shoot. That was Adam and Tatiana, but I heard a lot about it and I saw the footage that turned out really good, and there were things that were right and were wrong. And I think for given what it was, I think they did the best they could. But yeah, that was definitely, I know, one of the more difficult shoots for sure.
Yeah, photos came out amazing. The video looks great, but definitely a little bit of bump in the road for 2022. Our favorite purchases of 2022, I would say mine actually comes from our best investments video that we posted last week, which would be our director's monitor. And in that, I also mentioned that a lot of those components we owned previously, but we didn't get to assemble it until we got the cage. But having that has really changed the way we shoot. I feel like having eyes on whoever's operating the camera without having to be right next to the camera is crucial. And we definitely think a lot more about what we're shooting now and do more takes because we can notice little details. And that's something that I want to continue down that road of, becoming more of a production company rather than just two people making videos. Yeah. That way we can really ensure that we're getting exactly what we want on every shoot and not have to worry about when we get back to the studio, things being out of focus or things not being composed well. And I think that director's monitor has really helped us step our game up whenever we do use it on projects.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I actually had a answer in mind, and then I changed it once I heard what you said because it made me think about more of the equipment that we had. Going off of pretty much exactly what Adam said with the the production value and really taking our time on shoots. My favorite purchase of 2022 was actually our camera cart. We got that towards the end of 2022-ish, but that actually is probably one of the best things I think we've ever bought. I mean, that's kind of going out on a limb, other than our cameras, obviously, and stuff. But I'm really big in organizing. Adam and I both are. Our studio is very organized. Kind of have to be when you have a video production company with all the equipment you have, and then there's a lot of small things that go along with it. And I feel like the camera cart allows us to have the freedom to bring more things on set that we wouldn't normally do because it's just so heavy and so cumbersome. But I feel like the camera cart brings our level of videos to the next level by just, I guess, making it easier for us to bring more lighting on set, more equipment on set, and really fine-tuning the final product. And for that reason alone, I think it's definitely one of the best things we ever bought. Definitely for 2022. So.
Yep, that was in that video as well, and I definitely think that shows kind of like where our company's headed and where our minds are at, because most people would probably expect us to say, oh, our A7S or this lens we bought, because those are the flashy things that people think makes a video a good video. But in our minds, being prepared and being able to overcome all of these little challenges that we never know are ahead of us is what sets us apart and makes us more professional and allows us to get the results we get without having to worry about all of these details. We show up, we bring a lot more than what we think we need, because we oftentimes have learned, it's those little parts and pieces that you leave behind, or that thing that you're holding on to before you're leaving. You're like, I don't really need this. That makes the difference in the shoot and gets you the results that you want. What skills did we learn in 2022 that, helped us make our videos better? I think a few come to mind, but for me, the most obvious would be flying FPV drones. A lot of content about that on this channel already, but it's something that I was interested in. I knew it was going to take quite a bit of time and research, but after doing so, I'm happy that I was able to learn it, because I feel like it opened a lot of doors for us. Just got a phone call about an FPV job like literally 1 minute ago, and something that not a lot of people are doing around here. And now that we're kind of, I don't want to say like an authority on it, but like we're one of the few companies that will fly professionally, have insurance, have the real setups, best quality setups for FPV in the area, at least in terms of like smaller FPV setups.
I feel like for me, for 2022, the thing I learned was being more confident in my shooting abilities. In 2021, I was still learning a lot about just very basic camera usage, like just, with exposure and, creatively and stuff like that. And I feel like in 2022, I kind of put all that like in the back of my head. Before, I was always something I thought about, like, oh, is this exposed right? Is the camera in the right settings and all that kind of stuff. But in 2022, I was more confident in that ability, so that it helped me be more creative when I shot videos, like the product videos, and like more creative like music videos and stuff like that, because I wasn't so worried about the camera settings. I already had that in my head, and I was already confident, like I already settled these, I already know this is right, so now I just need to focus on like the lighting and the more creative aspect. And I think that's definitely something that I learned in 2022.
I think the best decision that we've made to help grow our business is that we've definitely started putting ourselves out there more. I feel like personally in the beginning, I was really self-conscious about a lot of the work we did, and I didn't necessarily, I wouldn't say I wasn't proud to show it, but like I wasn't as interested in hearing feedback as I am now. Like before I was like, oh, I made this, I just want you to think it's cool. I don't really, which isn't how you grow. And I feel like we've gotten a lot better at like taking feedback, creating systems to take feedback in, and work on every video until we feel like it's as good as it can be. And I think we put ourselves out there in quite a few different ways nowadays. The main thing we've been doing more often is just we go out a lot of places and we're always wearing our branded stuff. So we're always, we love talking about what we do. And I feel like it's gotten so easy now that whenever we go anywhere, people are like, oh, what do you do? And it's so easy to talk about what we do now and how we can help people. And it don't feel like we're selling to people ever. It's just, it feels really genuine, and I really like that. Yeah. Along with that, these YouTube videos, another way we put ourselves out there. Just, we know they don't always get a lot of views, but it's cool to see what we can do and learn how to talk about ourselves, learn how to talk about what we do.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something that we've gotten better at, or that we get better at every year, is putting ourselves out there. I think in the very beginning there's a lot of word of mouth, which is great, and that works for us, and it still works for us today. But a lot of, improving our website and doing these YouTube videos and Instagram reels, that has, I think, really pushed us into a good direction. And I think just being more on top of it with ourselves has really helped us grow. In my opinion, the best decision that we made in 2022 to help grow the business was actually hiring just more people in general, more employees to work with us. Before, it was just me, Adam, and Tatiana, and we did that for quite a while, and it just seemed like every time we would get a job, we'd all rush around okay, we have to do this, this, and that, and every person would have to do 10 things every day. Then we kind of reevaluated in the beginning of 2021. We're okay, we should probably hire more people, especially with the direction our business is going and the clients we're getting. We really should have more people that should help us out. And we've slowly, over the past year or two, hired a few people, and just having not only of that, having them help us take that extra workload off of us, but just having another creative person around, giving us more tips, more ideas, and showing their the way they edit, the way they shoot things creatively, I think has helped us and our business as a whole. And I think that has been a super big help to us.
Yeah, I think that's huge, being able to have these people that are more specialized than we are. As the people who run the business, typically we have to do a little bit of everything, but having people that can just focus on one part of the grand scheme of things makes things so much easier. We don't have to worry about it. When we're doing all of these things, odds are somebody's going to drop the ball somewhere. But now that we have people that can just focus on one or two things, I feel like we get a lot better results, and it makes it feel a lot less stressful at the end of the day.
Something that I am most proud of in 2022 is our new studio space. I feel like it's a lot more professional. It caters a lot more to clients rather than us as a business. I think it caters to our business as a whole. Being very inviting to clients, being a very nice, comfortable place for our employees, and also a nice place where we can still shoot in studio and edit. I think it's a beautiful space. I'm really happy with it, and I think I'm really proud that we took that step and tried to find a new space from our old space. And I think we got really lucky, and I'm really happy with the space we have so far.
Yeah, no, that's a huge deal, and I think that that was a big challenge for us. I'm also very proud of that. I'm proud that we were able to pull that off, and we were able to figure out all of those things as our world was slowly collapsing around us. But I think what I've been most proud of isn't necessarily any one thing, but more of our ability to carry ourselves more professionally. And I feel like the optics that we have on the company as a whole nowadays is much more refined, but still fun. And I feel like that has taken us a long time to get to that point, to become comfortable with kind of reviewing how people view us. So that would have to be what I'm most proud of, is just our ability to take a step back, look at the business, and see how other people are seeing it. And I feel like that took a lot of growing for all of us to get to that point to be able to do that. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you like content like this, we're trying to make more videos about our business and what goes into running a business. So if you guys could subscribe, if you want to follow along, give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more content like it. Really appreciate it. And let us know if you have any questions in the comments below. We'd love to hear about your 2022 and maybe some things that you're really proud of that you did last year.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.